NC Pork, raising the bacon, raising the bar.
They came on the road and they did what teams ranked in the top 12 in the country do to give themselves a chance to win. They protected the ball. They were opportunistic. They took advantage of the mistakes that we made. And certainly we felt at halftime, that we were in a really, really good spot, down by 1 and behind 2-0 in the turnover margin. And we're winning the game up front. I was very impressed with how we played on our defensive front early on, and we were moving the ball. I think we were only stopped once in the first half. Unfortunately, in the second half, we were still the architects of our own demise. Mistakes we made, starting with the substitution error on the punt block. So we had a guy that wasn't even on the 2 deep on punt block that was in the game, and again, those are the things that I'm all responsible for. Allowed Illinois to get a touchdown. We had a chance to get the ball back, only down by 1. A chance for the first time to really put them under pressure. And we lost that, and then you turn the ball over. So really, it was 6-0 in turnovers, and that made a game in my mind that was very competitive between two very evenly matched teams. That was probably headed down towards a fantastic finish, and that made the scoreboard look as lopsided as it was. I know for a fact that there's not that much separation between those two teams, but it is an example. It's a great lesson for us on our journey, where we need to get to, very similar to what Illinois has done over the last couple of years as they've improved their program. We got to look at this as some painful lessons today of what it takes to win big-time football games. All that being said, I think there's enough evidence over the course of the 60 minutes that this is a really good football team. Some of the things that we were able to do on both sides of the ball against a really good football team should give us a lot of reason to stick together, get it corrected, because today was never what the season was about. Win, lose, or draw. There's a lot to play for, and again, I think this team is worth fighting for because it's up on both sides of the ball. And so we'll feel terrible about this. It's a dejected locker room because I think they feel like it's a missed opportunity. But this happened for a reason, and we have to learn from it, and it's part of our development as a program. So let's do questions.
Manny, if last week's mistakes were nervous and first game jitters, where did this week's come from?
It felt like trying to do too much. If I had to think of our turnovers, which to me, the game is decided on 6 or 7 plays. It was either holding on to a ball too long and not throwing it away, or just scrambling or whatever. A couple just doing extra things, trying to fight for extra yards. Again, all good intentions, right? No one was doing anything poorly, and I think again, you have to credit Illinois, the way that they protected the ball, the way that they attacked the football. But like I said, it's just those were the plays that were just so backbreaking, not just because of the turnovers, but because of where they happened. Either setting them up with short fields or taking away scoring opportunities with us when we're in the red zone.
Manny, how do you fix that? Like, if you're not getting a pass rush, you can take film and show guys, but you guys were getting a pass rush. If you're not moving the ball in offense, there's film you can show. How do you sort of, as a coach, try to address correcting a turnover margin issue? It's not like, you talked about trying to do too much, but it's not like you have a ton of film where it's play after play. You guys did so much well. The film's going to be good.
Yeah, part of that is just understanding the speed of the game, and that's why getting into the season, where, again, nobody hits their quarterback in practice, right? So just that understanding of that urgency of time clock of, if it's not there, I got to get rid of it. And these are the progressions of young players. This is what we get to do. We get to develop players to their potential. And same thing, with ball security in terms of, what arm we have the ball in. Just these are the things that matter in those type of games. So again, credit to Illinois for protecting it and for taking advantage of the mistakes we made.
Can you go into a little more detail?
There was just a panic between two players. There was a guy who should have been in and ran off, and a guy who, like I said, didn't even practice in the unit this week, sort of stayed on. So it was just sort of confusing for everybody because we go, obviously, with college football and the double numbers, you have to make sure that you don't have. And so, like I said, I'm responsible for all that. I thought that was a crucial play in the game. And again, a very, very much an unforced error that we allowed to take advantage of.
Yeah, I hate to ask the question, but who was out?
I'd rather not get into people, you know what I mean? So I just, let me. It's my responsibility.
Manny, I think you had 4 sacks, 8 tackles for loss first half.
They did. Yeah, they found some different things in the passing game, but again, you come out in the first drive of the second half and you whip them again, and so. Look, there was going to be an element to this game, given the conditions of, whoever could sustain drives, stay on the field, was going to have a chance to wear down the other defense, and ultimately that's what ended up happening. I mean, this was the epitome of the game where you're giving somebody extra outs right? So the defense get the stop, they got to go back out there, and that happened with the turnovers 3 or 4 times, and that's why the fourth quarter looked the way it did.
How'd you feel like Minnesota?
Again, I think there's a lot of really, really encouraging things. If you think about what that defense was and the talent they brought back and the numbers that they had given up and how stingy they've been against the pass, and then a defense that is very unusual, gives you a lot of different looks. Like I said, I thought Darian played very well, but he's a developing player that's going to learn some lessons on ball security today, and these things happen for a player's development. As much as it stinks and you don't want it to happen, right? The only way you really have to learn these things is you have to go through these things. And so I'm proud of the way he fought today. Like I said, we've got his back, you know what I mean? I think he showed, as with our offense today, against a really, really outstanding defense. It's a really good team, that we've got some really dangerous weapons. And just even the way that Illinois played us schematically, compared to what they normally do, I thought was actually a sign of respect for what we're doing and what we're building.
Speaking of schematically, they seemed like they were running a lot of single high safety and man coverage. How much that influenced the play calling for you
They
guys?
didn't. That's actually the point. No, they line up like that. That's kind of their MO. And they ran way more zone today than they normally do. The first play of the game, they line up in a 3-man box with 3 safeties.
Yeah.
So that's something they'd only done one game a year ago. We had a good plan for it, but no, they were concerned, and you know, they're really well coached. They do a good job of mixing up fronts and coverages, but no, you could tell they were concerned about our ability to run at wide receiver.
The decision to go for 2 as opposed to maybe kicking the PAT to make it an 8-point game?
Yeah, so when it's 9, with that early in the game, the analytics tell you if to go for 2, because if you kick, it's 8, you still need 2, so you're gonna have to get a 2 anyway. And if you get it at 7, if you don't get it, you know that you still need 2 scores. And it's a concept of 8 with that much time left is still really a 2-score game. I know it seems like it's not, but that's, again, we had a whole dissertation from our analytics people, but that's the situation why when it's 9, why you go for 2 in that time of the game.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
This has been Bold North State Football Daily, an exclusive presentation of the North Carolina Sports Network. Make sure you follow us on social media at the NC Sports Net, and check out our website that is wall-to-wall coverage of North Carolina sports at ncsportsnetwork.com. Our foundational partner is the North Carolina Port Council, raising the bacon, raising the bar. Telling the stories of the bold North State, this is the North Carolina Sports Network.